Sometimes business is not a bed of roses. Let's be honest. Sometimes we hit bumps in the road. Sometimes business feels hard. And I wanted to record this episode because I've had a couple of conversations with ladies recently who have just felt that frustration, like that feeling of which way is up. I've got all these decisions I need to make. I'm still very committed to running and growing my business, but oh God, sometimes it drives me nuts. Yeah. And so I wanted to make this episode because you all know me. I'm happy and bubbly and always see things like the positive way. But I want to just also touch on the fact that I've had bad days. I have bad days. Yeah. Like I have days when it feels tough. I have days when I get to the end of the day and I don't feel productive. When I've made decisions and then I think, oh, was that the right thing to do? I could have done it differently. Yeah. I've found ways to support myself in those moments, but it doesn't mean that they don't happen. Okay. So what I want to unpack in this episode is what do we do, right? When we're in that place of treacle, like when it feels thick and stompy and you can't move and it's like, oh, what do we do? Yeah, we've all been there. Frustrated, shall I give up? Am I cut out for this? You know the mindset. The first thing I want to say to you is congratulations, because it is a rite of passage. It is a moment that we've got to have those moments. Yeah, it is just the way it works. So congratulations if you have hit a moment like this, because often we hit moments like that right before it all comes together. So if right now you're in one of those moments where you're like, oh God, why does it have to feel like this? Do not give up. Do not give up. What you should do is, I'm going to give you 5 things right now, but do not give up, because very often we hit one of these moments of despair, one of these moments of difficulty right before it's all about to slot into place. Okay, so the 5 things. First thing is reconnect with why you started. Like, why did you start your business in the first place? Yeah, like, why do you care? Why do you care about what you do? Yeah, like, I'm not going to sound like a, Simon Sinek TED talk, start with your why, but start with your why. It's true, right? That talk went viral for a reason. If you've never watched Simon Sinek's talk on Start with Why to help you find your purpose, connect to your real goal, then go watch it. It's on YouTube. Simon Sinek, Simon spelt the normal way, Sinek, Sinek. He's a great speaker, really good guy. There's loads of videos on it. If you are not sure on your purpose, on your real mission, just go watch it. Yeah. Remind yourself why you started. Now, you might think, well, I started because I needed to pay the mortgage, Rach. I started because I was fed up in my 9 to 5, needed to get out. I started a business that focused on the best skill, the best talent that I had, and I just got going. There's no big impact mission. There's no big personal goal. I started to pay the mortgage. And so that would be your why. Yeah. Like, just because it's about paying the bills for your family doesn't mean it's any less of purposeful. Yeah. Like, you're committed to paying the mortgage. You're committed to being supportive for your family, to build a life. Just because it isn't, I want to go, save the children, doesn't mean it's not a good goal. Yeah. So don't listen to the people out there that say, no, you've got to have this big impact mission. You don't. It's okay to want to pay the bills and add an extra few £1,000s a month to your family household income so that you can go on a more extravagant holiday, buy a better car, build a conservatory, whatever you want to do, right? That is okay. But reconnect with it. If business feels difficult right now, reconnect with some purpose. Yeah, your driving force. Item number 2 on my list of 5 is review what has and hasn't worked. Yeah, so if things are feeling hard, very often we go back to the basics. And in order to do that, you first got to review the last year, 2 years, 3 years, and recognize What has worked? What has felt good? What has brought clients? What has, attracted my team? What has, whatever your challenge is right now, like what has made that feel easier in the past? Yeah. And if you're right at the beginning of business and you can't look back because there isn't a back, you're literally starting now, then I want you to think about the basics in the most simplistic way that you can. Yeah. And so if you're just starting, what's feeling hard is probably building your offer. And my advice would be to focus on three things if you're building your offer. What problem are you solving? What promise are you making? And what price point are you inviting people to come and get that promise for? Yeah. The problem is how they feel right now. It's what you're skilled and an expert at solving. The promise is where you're going to lead them, what they're going to be, do, and have once they've been in your offer. And the price is what's the transformation worth? Not what is somebody else selling it for, not how many hours are you going to have to dedicate to it. You are not pricing for competitiveness. You are not pricing your time. You're pricing for the result. Okay. So if you've got a back catalogue, of last year, the year before that in your business, and it's feeling hard right now, but you've got some history to look back on, figure out what worked, what didn't, and just do a little bit of a review. And if it's feeling hard right now because you're brand new, then it's probably because you haven't nailed your offer. Honestly, it's countless the amount of times people come to me in the DMs and say, I'm struggling with lead gen, I'm not making sales, my messaging and my marketing is crap, can you help me? And I say, okay, I can definitely help you. What is it that you sell? I'm not really sure. I haven't got that nailed down yet. Well, how can you market what you don't know? How can you message what isn't clear? Yeah. Offer, I tell you, is 90% of the issue. In most cases, the reason you're not attracting the right clients you want to work with, you're having people reach out to you in the DMs, having people tap on story polls, the reason that's not happening, the reason your content isn't converting, the reason you're not getting paid to the level that you want and desire is usually because the offer isn't clear. Because if it's not clear, you can't message it, you can't market it, you can't attract people into it. Okay, so step 1, reconnect with your real purpose. Step 2, review what has and hasn't worked. Step 3, come back to the basics. One offer, one promise, one problem, one person, one platform, one leadership stance, one content format. Master the basics. Get good at one thing. Don't look at other people, especially if they've been in business longer than you. They've been doing it longer than you. Don't look at them. Ignore them. Block them. Mute them. Don't even look. No, it's tempting. Don't look. But come back to the basics. Focus on one offer. Get clear on what problem it solves, what promise it makes. One person, who is it for? Not 5 people, not 3 people, one person. Get really clear on who gets the most value from your offer. Who is that person that has that problem? Who is that person who wants that transformation? Get really clear on that. Then get clear on how you're going to be visible. What platform? What is your leadership stance? What are your opinions? What do you want to be known for? Not 10 things, not 5 things, one thing. One. Get clear on one thing that you want to be your brand. If you weren't in the room and somebody you knew was going to recommend you, what would they be recommending you for? When you're starting out, especially, it's important not to get caught trying to do all things to all people. One platform, one leadership stance, one content format. If you are not great at designing carousels, don't do them. If your reels get better feedback, focus on that. Yeah? I had one client once. I tell this story all the time, so tell me to shut up if you've already heard this. I had one client who she was really struggling for time. She was just busy in her business, but she wanted to have a presence online. She wanted to do more content, but she just couldn't create carousels. They were just taking her too long. The tech editing reels was driving her nuts. And we came up with a strategy. I said, how do you feel about going live? She said, yeah, I love going live. I said, how do you feel about answering one question a day? That's it. She called it live at 5. Yeah, she went live for 5 minutes at 5 p.m. Obviously, you don't need to do it like that, but that was what she chose to do. Every day, her audience knew at 5 p.m. she would show up on a little live stream for 5 minutes. She would pose the question of the day. She would answer the question of the day, and she would give them a call to action to DM her or book a call with her. And her business blew up. She got one thing. That's all she needed to get right every day. 5 minutes at 5 o'clock and have a question that you know that you can answer. And then remember to give a call to action. Yeah, so step 3, if it feels difficult, come back to the basics. Get rid of everything complex. Come back to the basics. Step 4, unsubscribe from the noise. Stop downloading people's freebies. Yeah, I see you. I know you do it. Stop downloading freebies. Unfollow your peers, your competition. I don't actually believe in competition. It's just not a premise that I've ever bought into. My competition is me yesterday. Your competition is you yesterday. Yeah, but people that do what you do, who get you sidetracked, you go off and search their link in bio. You watch all their stories. Yeah, I have sales coaches watching my stories every day, business mentors watching my stories every day. I look at their content sometimes just to go, oh, who is she? And they claim to be helping people like make 50k months. And then they drop into my DMs and say they're not even making 5k months. Yeah, so you look at these people thinking they're ahead of you. Not necessarily. They could be looking for you for ideas. Yeah. So unsubscribe from the noise, unfollow peers, unfollow your perceived competitors, unfollow the gurus. Yeah. You don't need them. You just need to do the basics. Get clear on who you are, what you stand for, what your brand is, and unsubscribe from the rest. Step 5, focus your time and energy on your priorities. Now, we've said focus on the basics. So your priorities are the basics. Yeah, your priorities are that one offer. Your priorities are getting that message. The priorities are getting visible. Yeah, the priorities are being seen and being really understood for the gift that you have, for the genius, for the expertise that you are monetizing. Yeah, focus your time and energy right. Look for where it's leaking. Look for where you've got shit boundaries. Look for where you're saying yes when really you mean no. Yeah, look for where you're people pleasing. Hello, I see you. Yeah, look for where you're people pleasing. If you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh, well, that was another shit day. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to today. That's your fault. Yeah, that's the way that you stacked up your day. We have the opportunity to set our day up a certain way. It's your calendar. It's your time. Okay? Focus your time and energy in the right places. Even if right now, let's say you've got a job, right? You're straddling between a job and building your business. And you're like, yeah, but Rach, I don't have as much time as everybody else. That's okay. It's not about spending 24 hours a day in a certain way. It's about look at the capacity that you have, the time that you have, and spend that in the best way possible. Don't have your time and energy leaking all over the place. So that doesn't sound quite right, does it? But you know what I mean. Don't have your time and energy leaky. Yeah, be in control of it. Be proactive with it. Be protective. Yeah, be protective of your time and energy. Okay, so these are the 5 things. Reconnect with your why, review what has worked before. Number 3, come back to the basics. Number 4, unsubscribe from all the noise. Number 5, focus your time and energy right. Okay, I will put some resources below this episode for you. If you would rather have a chat, you can message me. You know where my Instagram is by now. We've got a link below the show. And can you hear my squeaky chair again? Can you hear that? God, I need to get it fixed. Remind me, if you still hear that on next week's episode, you have my permission. Remind me, kick my ass and tell me to get my chair fixed. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you listening. Share this episode with somebody that needs to hear it, and I will see you next week.